but I do think we are live. Fingers and toes and every other appendage crossed. I think so. So I guess we can get started now. Guys, are you able to see any pop-ups about whether or not the session is now officially live on YouTube? You can say yes or yes. Zola, you've raised your hand. What's up?
I was trying to click the thumb up to say yes, it is live streamed on Facebook now.
Live on YouTube. Awesome.
On YouTube.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, YouTube, what's going on? The squad is here. We're doing this again. As you can see, the rust is real. It's taken us a good 15 minutes to figure out what is what and who's who in the zoo. But we are now officially going to start the session. So guys who are viewing us right here on Zoom, let me know if you're able to see the screen. I'm about to start sharing my screen. If you're able to see what it is that I'm sharing, let me know. Can I see some thumbs if you're able to see this welcome message? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, Zola says thumbs up. She sees everything. It's always been the case. Awesome. Okay. Then let's just move along. But as you guys could see, that was the agenda. The first thing that we're going to touch on is a recap of the week inside the paid squad. So if you're ever curious to see like what actually goes on in the squad, I'm going to take you through page by page, literally day by day, where you'll see what we talked about, what was discussed, how we handle pain points. By the way, huge warning, this session is going to disrupt your comfort zone. So if you feel away, just know that this will probably take you way out of your comfort zone. And if you're in the squad, it's just a reminder, we've all managed to figure out that it's pretty much useless to get sick of watching other people succeed while we think that we're getting left behind, right, guys? You're all pretty much aware of that. Let's quickly check the chat. Let's see. Oh, nice. You guys are networking in the Zoom chat. But yeah, if you're in the squad, you know, it's pretty futile for you to have the feeling of, I can't believe people are getting ahead and I am not. It's not a very helpful feeling to have. And to be quite honest, it's probably not even true. The reality is that you're doing pretty darn well on your own. I'm not really sure why Canva is being annoying. But you're doing pretty well on your own, and everybody is hitting milestones at their own pace. So that's the other thing that I want to sensitize you to, that own pace, own race. And members of the squad are actually doing extremely well. Don't know how many times I have to say that. Okay. So the other thing that I would like you guys to know as well is that there is no pressure for you to make any kind of purchase during the session. I just want to show the people who are curious about what goes on in the squad, and the people who are in the squad, just a quick reminder of how far they've come. Okay, guys? So let's start off with Monday. First and foremost, 6 proposals viewed, 2 interviews conducted, 1 hire. Typically, when we use the analysis, as well as NeuroPSS, as well as Claude.ai, a new friend that we've added into the ecosystem, when we use it really, really well, I can definitely attest to the fact that you start to see things moving quite quickly. Now, is the queen, I call her this, although she doesn't really like the title, but I call it the queen of Notion, because inside the squad, when you send, say, 3 proposals, and we see that, okay, the proposals are getting viewed, but you're not getting interviewed. We run analysis to find patterns and recognize what it is that we can and can't change. If you're getting views and interviews, but you are not getting hired, then we are looking again for patterns of why are you getting interviewed? What kind of interviews are you getting? And that kind of thing. And those insights allow us to dial further into how it is that we can optimize the proposals, profile, value proposition, you name it. And we do all of this using neuromarketing and sales psychology. We've actually dialed into a system very, very different to what we used to do in version 1 of the Paid Squad and version 2 of the Paid Squad. We're very, very close now to version 3, which, not to get ahead of myself, you will see towards the end how many changes have been made, how much has changed since version 1. Then we also looked at on Monday, because we were setting intentions, we looked at insights from top freelancers. And these are freelancers who have made close to $1 million without necessarily running agencies. As I mentioned before earlier on this year, I really, really ignored my Upwork, but I've come back to it. These are my stats. Right now, I'm top rated. I've lost my top rated plus badge. And I used to have a 100% job success score, and now my job success score is at 97%. But in the span of about, I think it was 2 weeks, I've already been able to consistently get the views, the interviews, the hires, and I've upsold a client who originally came to me with like a budget of $200. That's what they thought they had a budget for. And we are now sitting pretty at $1,200. So what I did was I multiplied their budget by 6x. So definitely make sure that if you have questions about how did we do that, leave your questions in the chat and we will have a Q&A session at the end of this. This is not a webinar or a masterclass or anything weird like that. It's just a session. We're talking and we'll be back to talk again tomorrow. So if we don't get to your question, we will most certainly get to it tomorrow. And then the other thing that we did was making your portfolio function as a client welcome packet. That was something that, again, is something that we noted that freelancers that are making, not even expert vetted, but that are making individually close to $1 million, they have started to use Upwork as their whole website. Forget portfolio. They have a whole website, including how to work with them, pricing, all of it's happening in the portfolio, and there's a specifically search engine optimized way for you to do that. So we looked deeply into that on Monday so that members of the squad could action that throughout the week so that by Friday, everyone had a really optimized profile and portfolio. Then again, we went crazy with tools like Claude. So if you've never used Neuro, that's okay. Claude.ai. Claude was built by Anthropic. It is incredible. Please, from today onwards, I encourage everybody who's here, go to Claude.ai. The way that it appears on the screen right here, go there and just play around and see how interesting the outputs are. But we've used these two tools for creating visually appealing and optimized portfolios. So you can imagine Monday was portfolio day. And then we also prepared Alice, Israel, for the LinkedIn squad. There's just so much stuff that we've had to front load now. Alice and I today, as we speak, went through the process of laying a really strong foundation because remember, we're doing a lot of inbound marketing once we take our freelancing onto LinkedIn. It sounds crazy, like inbound, but isn't that outbound? It's like a mixture of both. Right now, your profile, getting to your clients is considered inbound on Upwork. But the minute you start to do LinkedIn freelancing, it's only inbound on LinkedIn. So it's outbound off of Upwork, but it's inbound when you bring those clients onto the platform because you pay less in platform fees. I say all that to say, we have a whole new module inside the Paid Squad. Remember, the Paid Squad is a membership. It is not just a course. We have a course inside the Paid Squad called the Paid Pillars course. But the Paid Pillars course has 2 new modules. First one is called Get Working. And then the other module, if you will, is the LinkedIn Squad. That's kind of the working title. The squad is going to name the LinkedIn freelancing course. But the very first module is going to be showing you how to make sure that your Upwork and your LinkedIn start to work together so that you can start to bring in clients from anywhere, really. We're just starting with LinkedIn, but it's going to be Facebook groups, it's going to be forums, all kinds of stuff that I'm going to make sure that I furnish you guys with as far as your freelancing lead generation. So for those who were in the squad earlier on before maybe the end of July, let me know privately You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can send me a DM on Instagram, but let me know because I do want to make an offer to you. If you did not get your squad client before ago, maybe let me know so that we can hook you up with a little something that is way more affordable, and you'll have lifetime access to it instead of the membership. It's kind of a course that's going to speed you up so that should you decide you want to be part of the paid squad, then you can come in and pick up where you left off, but this time with your squad client. So we did that on Monday. It's very exciting. And then Tuesday, I got in trouble about maintaining work-life balance. This was a conversation between myself and Tato. Then we talked about, we do a lot of networking in the squad. We shared how we discovered the squad and our experiences so far with the squad. Then we had a discussion on the benefits and the challenges of one-on-one sessions. So if you're not aware of this, the paid squad has so many cool features to it. We meet as a group multiple times a day. Then you can also schedule a one-on-one session with me every single week where I, using my little book of stats, kind of grab your data and pull it up and see how far you've come along. But now we're digitizing that. We had a little book, but now we're taking what used to be physical and putting it on ClickUp so that it can generate graphs and really cool analytics for you, even more than what Upwork gives you when you look at your stats. So we look at my book of stats and we see how we can advise you and how we can move you along even faster. I'm so glad Israel is on this call right now because Israel was in the squad for less than a month. I think within 7 days of being in the squad, just because of how version 2 has changed. He was able to do crazy things. His stats changed. He was starting to get the views and then the interviews and then the hires. And now he's really dialing into increasing, as he mentioned in the chat, his conversion rate, because now he has his own stats and he knows how to read them. He knows when to send proposals. Yes, when to send proposals, how to send them, and how to agitate his clients so that they will respond to his proposals. And today, Alice actually learned more about her buyer psychology, like in your marketing. What kind of a buyer does she mostly talk to? Something that she may not have been aware of. Now we know when we want to agitate her ideal buyer, what kind of language do they use? What kind of a buyer are they? Are they a driver buyer? Are they an analytical buyer? Are they a humanistic buyer? So we found out all that information. So we had that kind of refining your messaging and targeting to attract your driver buyer profile or your humanistic buyer, that kind of thing. And then, of course, we had a discussion as the squad, and I'm actually curious from you guys. Some of you are previous squad members who had like full-time jobs. Others are squad members who resigned from a full-time job. Others are in between. Do you think it would be interesting to create something like an evergreen co-working room? If you're watching on YouTube, let me know, like in the comment section. Would you want to be in a room with a bunch of other freelancers, and all you guys do, you have your headphones on, you're playing your really nice music, and you're just holding each other accountable to, we have an hour, let's send proposals, or we have an hour, let's do copywriting, or I'm a funnel builder, you're a copywriter, I have an hour, let me build this funnel, and then can you help me with copy editing this ad copy that I've written? I mean, we have so many really complementary skills inside the squad that it would be kind of cool to do that. So let me know what your thoughts are about me creating an evergreen co-working room that is live video. You get to see each other. You don't have to talk to each other. You can chat with each other and then decide, hey, what are you trying to get done in this hour? I'd love to keep you accountable. And then you both get to work, headphones on, and nobody bothers anybody until that 1 hour is done. And it's evergreen, meaning you can come in and out as you please without there having to be an admin. So if it's something that members of the squad or you watching, even if you're not in the squad, if it's something that you're like, yeah, I want that, let me know. Now let's quickly check the chat. Mpa says, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Thanks, Mpa. Then let's go into Wednesday. There she is. We discussed missed notifications and also one-on-one meeting synchronization. This was myself and Liberty earlier on before the group joined. When the group joined the chat, we started talking about developing a comprehensive personal branding strategy. So Missed notifications and one-on-one meeting synchronizations. A lot of automations had to be added in, including even today, we have a new bot called Paru, not Peru, inside the squad chat. And Paru's primary job is just to remind you when your sessions are, whether they're one-on-one or group sessions. Paru, you say to Paru, listen, remind me every 10 minutes, remind me 10 minutes before, remind me a day before, whatever the case may be, and Paru will tell you what's coming up, what's happening now, and what's happening tomorrow. So I just thought, something different. Let's check the chat. Alice says she definitely wants the Evergreen co-working session. Awesome, we will do that. And we are now starting to put together projects and consultations. So that is the comprehensive personal branding strategy. When you show up on Upwork, it has to be beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is, for instance, this is Mpo's profile. I know it, I can tell it, but Mpo had branding down pat. So she had to teach us. He can do graphics, of course. So she had to teach us, like, from her knowledge and her expertise, these are the basic principles that you guys have to follow to ensure that things are actually visually appealing. Because some of y'all, your stuff is ugly. And we'll go into that a little later because they called some of my font ugly, you guys. Amanda says, I'm with Alice and Paul. Awesome. So then that's what happened on Wednesday. Thursday was a doozy of a day. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Can you guys still see what I'm doing on my screen? Please show me a thumbs up if you're able to see it. If not, thank you, Israel. Thank you. Okay, so Thursday was an interesting day, as I mentioned. I'm going to use my keyboard and not my mouse now because I don't want to have any more accidents. On Thursday, we had 2 mega events happening. So we have a member in the squad named Liberty. Liberty is an operations technical guru. She is amazing at this kind of stuff. And Liberty is from corporate. So she comes from the product management tech background. And in tech, there's something called Scrum, right, in project management or product management, if you will. So there's a Scrum master who basically decides when we're building a product as a team of developers, we are going to have a sprint. And in that sprint, there are certain tasks that we're going to get done. And so she thought, you know what? I like the concept of a sprint, but obviously this is not nearly as technical. So we can do a Q&A sprint where instead of members of the squad only remembering the questions they wanted to ask at the end, we can ask the questions. We can dedicate a session on Thursdays where you ask your questions back to back to back to back to back, and you get your answers. So here are basically the things that were discovered or talked about during the sprint. So first things first that I will note is that we talked about things like client rates in order to determine what a client's quote unquote pain price is, and then focus on clients with higher pain prices. So if I say pain price, or I talk about that concept, are you guys aware of what a pain price is? Does anybody want to grab the mic or let me know in the chat, and then let me check YouTube to see if YouTube has any comments. If anybody on YouTube knows what a pain price is, quote unquote. Nosipa says that'll be so cool. Yeah, the Evergreen. I'm loving it. I'm loving that Evergreen is really resonating with you guys. So she says yes. Nosipa, do you know what a pain price is? Israel, do you know what it is? Feel free to grab the mic, unmute yourself. I will not be mad at you. I ain't mad at all. I always like hearing you guys' voices. Zola, any idea? Pearl, do you maybe want to offer what do you think it might be, the city? Israel's like, okay, so let me check the chat quickly. Amanda says, would it be the maximum amount a client is willing to pay? Amanda is awake, people, exactly. A paying price is basically the amount that the client is like, I'm going to pay this and I'm happy to pay it, but anything more, ouch, right? That would put me in pain. So that is their pain price. Well done, Amanda. So then there is a strategy for us to be able to focus on clients with higher paying prices. And you might think, okay, if I just look at their previous projects, on average, they are hiring people at $15 an hour. So that means if I charge them 20 an hour, it'll be totally fine. The reality is that that's only like not even half the picture, maybe a third of the picture. There's still other bits of investigative work that you have to do to figure out what their real paying price is. And also, you have to understand the type of client we have on Upwork is really diverse. So you might think, oh, yeah, this client wants to hire a VA. I'm in it. Only to find out that they have projects open for like 5 other VAs. So then you're like, okay, they need 5 VA. Why do they have 5 VAs for this? It's very confusing. The investigative hat, if you had put it on, would have told you they're running an agency. May not be anywhere on their client profile, but they are running an agency, and so their agency needs virtual assistants. So then you're going to, instead of speaking to your client as if they were the one that was trying to hire you, you're speaking to the client as if you are trying to work for your clients' clients. And so then you're able to tailor your messaging around that objectively, right? That objective. And so their paying price as an agency versus an individual is totally different. You see how being able to do a little bit of investigative work changes the entire narrative. It also even changes the neuromarketing and the language that you have to use. So then we talked about strategies for improving visibility and getting noticed on Upwork. This one was a doozy. We discovered that the Upwork algorithm works in multiple ways. Number one, guys, I can't say this enough. I mentioned it in our paid pod episode that came out recently. So if you haven't listened to it, please do. And your Upwork clients ASAP. Alice and I physically saw what this looks like and why you want to do that, because the Upwork algorithm doesn't have eyes, ears. You can't talk to it, right? It's just trawling and scraping and then presenting you as either a best match or presenting you as something or someone that would be at the very top of all the proposals. And that's the other thing, is that if you're boosting, you're not playing to the algorithm, you're just giving the platform money. So how to improve your visibility is to close your projects quickly so that the Upwork stop presenting you, the algorithm stops presenting you as you used to be and as you are. I've switched my niche on the platform, but the algorithm is still serving up things from my low-hanging fruit skill, which is not a bad thing. You can flip that brick, right? If I want to make $1,000 from a low-hanging fruit skill, I know exactly how to do that, but I don't want to have to do that, because then once I close that project, I will receive yet another project that's similar to it. So the algorithm requires you to make it abundantly clear what kind of projects you want to work on. And you do that by closing projects on time, and then secondly, submitting proposals to projects that you really, really want. And then thirdly, by making sure that your messaging on your profile is in line with what it is that you really, really want. You really can't play around with this. What you want should be exactly what you go for and what you talk about. And there is a way for us to do this well. So if you're still unsure about how to do that, don't worry about joining Squad. I'm going to be putting out tons of free content right here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, kind of teaching you guys how to do that, because my goal is really for you to do a lot more of getting clients from outside the platform and bringing them on the platform, and then using Upwork as your client's relationship management tool. So your CRM software, if you will. It's free, and you don't need to use anything else to, like, I don't know, pay Stripe or pay Carter or pay Kajabi or pay any other platform. You can just use Upwork. They verify your identity, they hold the money in escrow for you, and you can work with clients from all around the world. Whereas with Stripe, it won't take PayPal. It won't. So it just makes things so much easier if you use, I'm learning that on my journey. Hello. If you just use Upwork as your client relationship management tool, it is just so much easier. Zella says, that's why I don't like to boost giving the platform money. No, 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 no. And the platform will never say no, by the way, to you, Zella, when you give the platform money. Welcome, Veronica. Nice to see you. All right, so I'm going to close the chat and carry on. The next thing that we talked about quite in the sprint was a Q&A about how to avoid scams and verify clients, then leveraging multiple platforms, strategically using Upwork and Fiverr. So this leveraging multiple platforms thing is something that's why I say, if you don't know how to use Upwork, don't even worry about buying like a $112 course on how to use Upwork. We got you. There'll be tons of free content that'll teach you how really to use Upwork. And that's why this session is happening, so that I can show you guys from now on, when you see a screenshot or even a video of someone showing you weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of making like 15,000, 20,000, 5,000, whatever, however many thousands per week on Upwork, how it is that they did that. I want you to now know beyond a shadow of doubt, this is how they did it. And I'm going to show it to you in this session. Right. The next thing we talked about was handling difficult clients and maintaining your boundaries. This one was really tough. Without really going too much into detail, because it's private affairs between each individual member of the squad and their particular clients, we discovered that Nero is an amazing diplomat. So you tell Nero all the things you want to tell the client, and Nero will make sure that you don't get banned on Upwork, right? Nero will say it in the nicest way possible and also give you strategies on how to avoid this situation happening in the future. So then we had some questions about, should I actually get an Upwork membership? Should I go premium on Upwork? So we talked about the pros and cons of Upwork's paid membership plan. So big con, Upwork don't kill you. But if you buy 100 Upwork Connects by yourself, it's cheaper than the membership. And the membership is supposed to come with 100 Connects every single month, but you very rarely use all 100. And the second thing is, it's really expensive. Why pay $14 when I could just pay 11? So the math ain't mathing. Then we talked about building repeat business and client retention through a strong, not a trong, very strong follow-up strategy and delivering high quality work, which is why at the very beginning of the session, you saw Israel talking about working on his follow-up strategy, right? So for him, dialing into increasing his conversions and his follow-up is pretty much where the riches are. People say the riches are in niches. That's correct. But the fortune is in the follow-up. So you want to be doing that quite consistently. Then we talked about pricing strategies and market research, something called dynamic pricing and competitor analysis. And this whole thing happened in the span of, I think, about 48 minutes, 48 to 50 minutes. It was a very hot seat type of experience. And Kaya, fortunately, was there with me live, but he didn't ask any questions because I think he was scared. He's not here to defend himself. I get to say whatever I want. Okay, so then again on Thursday, there was more that happened. We had our actual group session. So the sprint is a new addition. It's not replacing anything. And so in our group session, we resolved issues with tech and the website. And this is the part where I say, I hope you're still here. Bali, and Liberty really came through. As you can see, you guys, this is our new paid squad dashboard. This is version 2.5, because version 2 looked a little different, but Bali and Mpo were like, the font's ugly. And then Bali wanted to make the dashboard searchable. And initially I was like, it's gonna make too much clutter, but we figured it out and here we are. You can now search for things. You can now have things indexed inside the squad. You can do whatever you want. If you're looking, even though, you have your member menu right here and right here, if you're lazy to click there, you can always just search for whatever it is that you want. And we have 2 different types of videos to get you started. And then we have our squad events happening in their own special area. So this is our new membership dashboard. I love it. It has an animation happening up here, but it's not showing up here for obvious reasons. So what I do want to let you guys know, though, is if you think version 2 or version 2.5 looks nice, Version 3 is coming, and it is going to be more automations, more bots, not GPTs, bots as in robots, AGIs, bots that are able to do things and complete tasks and automatically do things and say things and help you with things. It's very exciting. And we've also done, like I said, the introduction of automations into the squad chat, which you can join the very first time you hop into the squad. And now, fortunately, there's not 2 different squad chats that are happening in 2 different channels. We got rid of that. There's only one squad chat happening on an app that you have on both your phone as well as on your computer with automations inside. It is fabulous. We love it here. And by the way, all of this for under $50 a month. Just saying. I'm not selling you anything. I'm walking you through what we were doing in the squad last week. So let's carry on. Does anybody have any questions about what you're seeing on your screen? Let me quickly check what's going on YouTube inside the live chat. Nothing from you, Nosipo. Feel free to let me know, girl. What's going on? There's about 5 people watching on YouTube. Hi, 5 people. Please go ahead and ask your questions. You guys in the chat right now, do you have any questions? Let me know. Let me quickly check the chat before I carry on. Oof, Wando, I love that you are sticking with it. Poor Londo, I know connection and connectivity is an issue, but I promise if you ever do get kicked off of this Zoom call, you can watch on YouTube. Let me see if I can share the YouTube link with you guys inside the Zoom so that you can at least have access to that. And you can have more than one place where you're watching. So let's just make sure that you guys have access to that. Are you able to see the link to the YouTube? Let me know in the chat if you're able to see it. So in case something happens and you might lose the session, here we are. Do we have any questions, guys? Let me know in the chat or grab the mic. If you feel a little too shy to grab the mic, it's okay. Zola never stopped you before, girl. I'm kidding. If you have any questions, grab the mic or let me know in the chat. And if you don't have any questions, I'm looking at your individual faces right now. Just give me a thumbs up. Zola's laughing. Give me a thumbs up so I know it's safe for us to carry on to the very next slide. Anything from you? Okay, Zola gave me a thumbs up. She gave me a thumbs up for everybody. Israel, thumbs up. Awesome. We're going to carry on to the next slide. Okay, so that was Thursday. Now comes the fun part. YouTube gurus and their crazy, crazy, crazy earnings. As you can see, guys, pending, and like literally, this is not a joke. This is from the month of, like I literally put this together on, I think it was Saturday, Israel, right? When I was like, does anybody want to see how numbers like this show up? I would like to know now, this is a very serious thing. Does anybody want to send, it's the once in a week opportunity. Does anybody want to send a proposal on Upwork? Because the person who decides that they want to send a proposal, the person who decides that they want to share their screen, I'm going to show you how to make these numbers right now in less than 30 minutes appear in your overview page. So going once, does anybody, all you have to do is share your screen. That is the only price for you to have these numbers show up on your overview page. Right now, not like tomorrow, not next week, not Friday, like right now. So who wants to share their screen? Let me see. You can raise your hand, you can grab the mic, you can say me in the chat.
Me, I'll share.
Who's sharing? Wait, who's that?
Amanda.
Amanda's
Yes.
sharing her screen? Okay, I'm going to stop my share and then Amanda's going to share her screen. We are going to send a proposal together. And Amanda, please send me either a DM or a message on Facebook or a DM on Instagram. Just get in touch with me because for your bravery, I'm giving you a grant. Okay, you are going to get a whole month's membership into the paid squad. we are in the new month of August. Like I said, this is squad version 2.5. It's kind of crazy, all the tools that are in the squad to help you get your client. If you don't get your squad client by maybe in Israel, what's the record? Is it a week, 2 weeks?
A week, 2 weeks. Even 2 weeks is fine.
I think it's 2
No.
weeks.
Okay, the record is if you don't get your squad
2
client in
weeks.
2 weeks, I mean, you can go on Instagram and tell the whole world that I'm a scammer, but come on, it's me. I'm not a scammer. I'm going to stop my share. You're going to share your screen. We are going to send a proposal together, and I'm going to show you how to make. How many thousands do you want to be in your pending? Actually, you'll tell us. You'll tell us after. Oh, Lissetti says a week. Yes, it was a week. The record is a week. Who broke the record? I know Israel, it was 2 weeks. Was it Alice? Somebody broke the record. Somebody broke the record, but it was really crazy. They came in at the right time. We were all about analysis at that time, and they just broke the record. Let's check what's going on YouTube. Bali says these fake numbers would kill. What are you saying? Inside, because I really need them for real, 2 weeks tops if you have a good portfolio. Yeah, 2 weeks tops if you have a good portfolio, according to Bali, and I couldn't agree more. What do you mean fake numbers, Bali? These numbers are not fake. We're about to make them happen in real life. Stay tuned. Bali's on YouTube right now talking about fake numbers. We've got 2 people watching. So let's make them happen for real. Oh, and I like what Amanda's doing. She's managed to hide certain things for herself. So that, you guys, not everybody wants you to dox them. So he says, this is interesting. Okay, Amanda, let's look. First and foremost, I like that your niche is copywriter, which is very broad. First thing we're going to do inside the squad, and you're going to see this when you join, is we're going to help you micro niche and dial into what it is that the market really wants from you. You're going to know the psychology of your client beyond a shadow of a doubt. So if you can, please type in here for us, copywriter.
I'm searching for copywriter.
Yes, because that's your niche, right?
Okay.
Excellent. Mind you guys, I never said anything about connect. We can put together a proposal. I never said you have to send it. Okay, for all the people who didn't want to share their screen. Now I'm going to get eggs thrown and tomatoes thrown at me because I didn't say that. Okay, so what is your hourly rate, Amanda?
25.
25, and that's the minimum. I'm giving myself a high five because I know you've watched my videos. Of 25 is your minimum. You have definitely watched the video. Let's set that filter of 25 right here.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. And we don't have to look for fixed rate projects. It's fine. We have FANG, Recruiter, email marketing, all of that. It's fine. We just want, what are the other filters, guys? Mind you, fun fact, I had a conversation with Upwork and they said to us, guys, payment method verified is not the be all and end all. You don't necessarily have to worry about it. But I still feel a way when I'm getting ready to submit a proposal and I'm like, the payment method is not verified. I'm just like, so what other filters do we apply, Amanda? Do you remember? Besides filtering for the job type.
Yes, I remember this.
Less than 5. Okay, good. And then what other 5 to 10? Why 5 to 10?
Oh no, like it's been such a long time, but I remember us doing it.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. We only do less than 5 now. The platform has gotten a little ghetto, so we are trying to make sure we save our connects. And the other thing about it is that if you look on the side, remember how you used to be able to filter for how many connects you want to spend? Now
Yes.
it doesn't allow you to do that. So that's the other reason why I stick to less than 5. And I also make sure my payment method is verified. Now, I'm going to give you access to something privately, Amanda. Like I said, please also make sure. Mpo says, oh, payment method has to be verified. I know, girl. If it's not, it looks weird. It looks weird. I'm sorry. Okay, you're going to use a little tool that I like to call Neuro. Neuro is our AI friend that we built inside the Paid Squad, and Neuro has been around since last year. Now, Neuro's gone through some facelifts because initially Neuro was not able to tell attention to detail. Like if, for instance, the client tells you, put red cat in your proposal so I know you read it. Neuro couldn't do that. Neuro would like completely ignore that. So Neuro's gotten a facelift and does not ignore that anymore. And now Neuro's conversion rate is really, really high, but not nearly as high as Neuro and Claude working together, which is why I'm saying what I'm about to send you privately, Amanda, is about to shake things up for you just a little bit. Can you go to your Chat GPT? Do you have a Chat GPT account? If you
Yes.
don't, it's okay. If you, oh, okay. But I'm going to give you a document. It's a Google document. You don't have to, in fact, I don't encourage you to make a copy because it changes as well. Every single person who's a member of the squad has access to this Google document. So if you have it, just know it's going to change as time goes by, and it automatically has been formatted and taught to make things look really, really good. All right, so Amanda, please check your Zoom chat. I know you have a lot of things happening right now on your screen and it's a little intimidating, but there is a link. It's like a Google document link that I have popped in the chat for you. Please click on that. Lissetti, you said something looks a little weird. It looks like something that was posted in 2003. What looks like something that was posted in 2003? Not in last I hope. All right, so like I said, we use Claude in the squad and we also use Neuro. So what you guys just saw on your screen, courtesy of Amanda, is pretty much a chapter out of a book to turn you into a prompt engineer. Like if you, prompt engineering is its own niche on Upwork. So if you ever run out of money and you just want to make money from AI, this book that has all that information, yeah, no payment verification on the projects does look a little bit weird. I agree. So if you go to this, it's got the Neuro PSS framework in there, but at the same time, it's also got access to Neuro in and of itself, as well as Claude. So Amanda, can you do us a favor and go here? No pressure.
Okay.
Looks like the session, it might go over time a little bit. Now, if you click on this part here, you'll see why I call it like a little mini book, but it's a mini book that keeps changing in the coolest way possible. So you're going to start off with Neuro. You're going to click the part that says Neuro PSS prompts. And also now you have scripts that will help you figure out how to answer questions like, what's your rate? As well as how to catch Neuro up if, for instance, you were working on a project and you had not joined the paid squad. You can catch Neuro up and Neuro will make sure that if maybe the project's gone in a handbasket, you can catch Neuro up to save the project. So step 1 is if you're not using the paid version of OpenAI. Step 2 is if you have access to GPTs. Are you able to use GPTs on your version of ChatGPT?
No, it's not the paid version. It's the free
You can
one.
still use Neuro, even if it's the free version. That's another really cool thing. All right, let's go to step 2 anyway. Okay, and while you're going to step 2, let's check on what's going on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's right. Molly, why are you so convinced they're fake numbers, girl? They're not fake. Say something else. Make that go away. Shoot. Okay, so can you click this link for us, Amanda?
Okay.
Pearl is like, Zola says Neuro changed my life. It's true. And also Neuro can write cover letters for regular jobs, by the way, guys. So if you ever see a job posting and you're like, Neuro, make me a CV, Neuro will do it. Neuro, write a cover letter for this job and the CV. Neuro will do it. So it's something that you can use. So you can click on this button and say hello to Neuro for the very first time, Amanda.
Hmm.
All right, so the day you have custom instructions on your chat GPT, Neuro will officially also know your name, which is something that's really, really important. I'm going to check the chat to see if Mbali has rescinded what she said. Mbali says, I'm just following this side. Okay, that's fine. You can follow. There we go. Amanda, let's go find a project. Zola says, that's what I mean. You can read my mind, Bailey. Cover letters. Yeah, no. I'm with you. I managed to finesse my way into a very important, I might as well tell you guys, a United Nations position using Neuro, okay? Because they were like cover letter. And I was like, oh, no, dude. So we had a United Nations meeting last week, like 2 of them. It was awesome. All because I used Neuro. I'm just saying, even if you leave the squad and you have access to Neuro, use it, don't abuse it. Okay. Do you see anything? Mind you, you don't have to send the proposal. It just has to be something that you're like, oh, this looks interesting, or I want to see how Neuro gets this. Even more so if it's a project that you think you wouldn't be able to handle on your own. Also, can I just mention how brave of you it is for you like to just have all of this in dark mode? Is everybody's eyes fully adjusted to what they're seeing? Amanda, do you know how to change it from dark mode to light mode, or do you have a visual impairment that means that you must see things in dark mode?
No. I
It's
just
totally
I just liked it like this, but I can change it. Oh,
don't change it. I respect. Let's go back to the project that you found, the technical case study writer.
okay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna leave you to see Amanda. Mpo says, we know you like dark mode, Mpo. Madam. She says, I like it too, Amanda. Do you remember what step it is once you land on this page? Do you guys remember? I'm not gonna give you any guidance. What do you look for when you finally land on the project page?
It's the L, but I forgot it. Lord.
It's the L. L for Lady Luck. L for this is the magic L. Yes, magic L. Guys, help explain the magic L to people who may or may not know it. Where do we find our magic L from? And remember, we're not submitting proposals, so we can go nuts. We can go feral with it.
Okay.
Where's the magic L?
Please help.
Help us find the magic L.
Scroll down.
Oh, Alice says scroll down.
Okay.
It says at the very bottom. At the very bottom.
Scroll after skills. There. Preferred qualifications. From the skills to the preferred qualifications activity on this job.
Yes.
From the skills, preferred qualifications, activity on this job. That's right. Although slightly demented and maybe obese, it isn't a magic L. It is an L. Slightly demented and maybe a little bit obese, but it is an L. There's your magic L. Okay, so what are we looking for here when we're looking at the magic L? Thanks, Alice.
We need to find the number of proposals, so it has to be less than 5.
But then I also see here it says invite sent, unanswered invites, job success, rising talent, fluent in English, all of these skills that they are expecting you to have. This client looks like a nightmare just based on all of this, but do you guys see all of that? All right, so the reason why we start with the magic owl is actually because we are looking for elephants. We're on an elephant search. We're looking for the elephants in the room. These are not things, if you're a member of the squad, that disqualify you. These are just things that you have to make sure you address, right? First and foremost, before anything else. Now that you have access to Neuro, you know how you're going to address this. You don't even have to do any writing. You're just going to tell Neuro they want a 90% job success score. I just started on Upwork, so obviously I don't have one. They want someone who's rising talent, but like I said, I just started on Upwork. So while I am super talented and I can give them as much value to demonstrate my knowledge, these are not things, these are algorithmic. So it's not like I can touch the Upwork algorithm. Do you guys understand what that means? These are algorithmic. Therefore, the elephant in the room, the ER or the EIR, is algorithmic. It's algo. That is the elephant in the room. That is what we're going to tell Neuro, and Neuro is going to find a really nice way based on this person's bias psychology. They are going to be able to say to them, listen, I know what you said is your preferred qualification, but because of these algorithmic issues, I have those things, but I have everything else. And you should definitely talk to me because I see you've invited 3 candidates and those candidates don't understand how awesome this project is, but I do. So, okay, we've done the magic owl. What's the very next step?
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail. Who said that?
Boo, 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 boo.
Well, let's hear everybody. Attention to detail. So when we do attention to detail, which is part of the PSS framework, attention to detail, and then value, and then seek permission, and then question, and then call to action, right? Attention to detail is things like what? Their name, right? Their location, right? As well as their buyer psychology based on neuromarketing. And then all the other stuff like the elephant in the room. That's your attention to detail. Value is just you making sure that they can figure out that you're the expert. Then Amanda, you don't have to take screenshots or anything crazy. I'm sure you'll have a one-on-one with me this week where we will do this together, this time properly, without a rush, right? So then after we look for attention to detail, and where do we find attention to detail, Zola? When we do the A for attention to detail, what are we looking for?
We actually scroll down to check for the client's name from the previous is. And we also check where the client is from, which we find on our right-hand side.
Okay, anything about a name here? If we look on more, anything? We know it's a him. That's about it. From my side, we know that the client's name is a him. Is it what is this, Romano?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. The client's name is Romano. Fingers crossed we got it right. Romano comes from where? Let's go up and find out. Okay. Slovenia. All right, interesting, Romano. And you want to definitely make sure that you have the city as well as the country, because it's kind of like people from eThekwini and people from Johannesburg. You think it's South Africa, but it is not. Or to make it even easier, people from Pretoria and people from Johannesburg. It's Gauteng, but it is not. So you have to understand that there's like variances and like nuances about different cities. So you definitely want to know, what is this? Tuch? I don't really know if I'm saying that correctly. Tuch or Tui in Slovenia. Okay, so we've noted that. We've noted that it's Romano from Tui in Slovenia. And what else is missing now? Is there anything else that I need before I submit my proposal? We're not going to click, we're going to click on apply now, but we're not really going to apply. We're not going to send the proposal. I wouldn't do that to you, Amanda.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right, Veronica, come on through. Let's see what's going on here. Mbali says, Neuro really does work, but finding a job needs finding a remote job needs patience. I have a secret about that, Mbali. I have a secret. Let's close that. You don't have to worry about using any connects. Mbali, literally send me a DM, girl. What is changing? The spot is changing. You don't have to go on a mission or a kamikaze or whatever. Try to figure out where the money resides. Okay, so the next part that we're going to do now that we figured out who the client is, where they're located, and all of that, we want to figure out what Neuro, not us, but Neuro has to be an expert in, right? Where do we find that information, guys? Welcome back, Veronica.
We first scroll up to the title and check if they have their technical writing just after the title, the skill.
So this is what Neuro has to be an expert in.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to step 2, and we are going to grab that prompt because we are getting ready to be able to answer all the questions. All right, step 2, you are an expert in. We're going to grab all of that. So this is your prompt. You don't really need the prompt. If Tato was here, Tato would explain to you that, the prompt to be able to do a good job of talking to Neuro, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have it. So let's copy the whole thing from number 1 all the way to till it cuts off.
Okay. Should I go down?
From
Okay.
there to there. And you can Control-C, or you can copy old school, or you can use edit to copy, whichever way. And then you'll go to Neuro and you'll paste, but you will not press enter. All right, we're going to scroll back up to the top, and you're going to let, you are an expert in, what was it? Technical writing. Oh, Zola says, I live and die for my prompt. It's true, girl. You come into the squad not trusting AI, and you leave being like, wait, am I a prompt engineer? Yes. You're an expert in technical writing. The prospective client is Romano, who lives in Slovenia.
Right.
Yeah, she'll figure out what this is. Okay, so the elephant in the room here is that they have invited 3 candidates to the project. So you're going to replace this entire part with they have invited 3 candidates to the project. Okay, they have already invited 3 candidates to the project. Hmm. 3 candidates to the project. You are not one of them. You're literally going to tell Neuro, you are not one of them. And then you're also going to tell Neuro, these 3 candidates have not even responded to their invitations. And then you're also going to tell Neuro, they want someone who has a job success score of over 90%. To the invitation. Excellent. They want a candidate with a job success score of at least 90%. Of at least 90%. And rising talent status. Do you guys remember that? Rising talent status. Those were the red bubbles. The reality is that all of those things are just algorithmic things for that prejudice. You could even say these are just algorithmic things that prejudice. Wow. These are algorithmic things that prejudice people who are not super active on Upwork. Or you could even say these are just things that have no bearing on your expertise. These are algorithmic things that have 0 bearing on your expertise. And then you can put a big but, like B-U-T, not B-U-T-T. But this is the elephant in the room. All right. And now you're able to go back and we're going to handle the part that talks about job title and all that good stuff. Right. Let's just make sure we're good here.
Wait, should I get rid of this?
Nope.
Because I'm seeing it here. Oh, okay.
But this is the elephant in the room. Oh, okay, let's get rid of the repeat for sure. Yeah. It was supposed to be deleted. Let me just double check with Neuro to make sure that it's not a repeat. It is, we'll just edit it. No, it's not. Excellent. Now we can go back to Upwork and figure out what the client is looking for. So the client is looking for, what is the job title of this project?
Technical case study copywriter for software development agency.
Please copy the whole thing.
Okay.
Nice. Here's what they had to say. You're going to only get rid of the stuff in the square brackets. You're going to keep the quotes. So you're going to copy this entire project description and then paste it in the quotes. Do you see that? And you're going to paste it in between those quotes that we have there.
Okay.
Thanks for still being with me, guys. This is a bit of a marathon. Thought we'd be less than 30 minutes, but I talked too much. I'm sorry. All right, totally fine. Now let's move on to the next element of the prompt.
That would be the skills needed right? Number 4.
Exactly. Excellent.
So then I go to the
And you
distributed
can copy
skills.
the skills and expertise as they are and paste them as they are. You do not have to worry about formatting or making spaces in between or putting in commas or anything. You can literally paste it as it is. Neuro can read it. So there we go. Make sure that you're getting rid of the square brackets. So when it comes to prompt engineering, square brackets means ignore the information. And that's not what we want you to do. So do you know how your name here is in between square brackets?
Yes.
It's as if Neuro saying, here's a button. I'm ignoring all of that. That's just for you, human. It's not for me. So we get rid of the square buttons or the square brackets so that Neuro understands, no, this information is for you, Neuro. It's not for me. Massetti, thank you.
Today's date is
All right, what is the next step? Today's date is the 5th of August. You can even put the time, 9:21 p.m. We're losing people. We only have 2 people watching us on YouTube now. The people are like, I can't hold it. Okay. And we're done. Well done. So now Neuro knows that Neuro has to use neuromarketing and biopsychology and all the things. So you are basically ready to just hit this button. Okay. And now Neuro is going to do all the hard work.
wow. Value.
Now, in the squad, guys, would we squad people impose like impose like a proud parent every time we show off Neuro's like, yeah, that's our Neuro. So in the squad members, let me know. Israel, Mpa, Zola, I'm watching you guys. Lissetti, Pearl, hello. You're still a squad member. What do we call it? All this part about my experience, I excel, my deep understanding, my ability, I can. Like, what is all of that stuff? Let me check the chat.
And I
Yep,
guess
Israel, it's friction. So what is friction? Is friction a good thing? If you're wearing a pair of jeans and there's friction, is it a good thing? Like, let me put it another way. On a rainy day when you're driving, friction is amazing. We need frictional force, right? In physics. But when it comes to psychology, when there's friction, is that a good thing? Alice, do you want to grab the mic? Thank you, Lissetti. It's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing.
So then when we, thank you, Zola. When we see this, the first thing that I'm going to do as a member of the squad is I'm just going to be like, get out of here. This has nothing to do with my skills, right? And instead, I'm going to jump straight to this part right here. We're going to go straight. So even though Neuro is helpful and Neuro's amazing and Neuro's all the amazing things, we love Neuro, precious Neuro. There are still things that are going to happen that are going to trip you up if you're not paying attention to the PSS framework, which is still now and forevermore. You want to start first with your attention to detail. And then you want to do what? Give value. And then you want to do what? Seek permission. And then you want to do what? Ask your questions, strong call to action, and then sign off. So you still want to make sure that even though you have access to Neuro and we love Neuro, you still follow this guy right here, the PSS framework, because that's going to save you from sounding like a robot. So then let's scroll up, if you can, Amanda, and let's take a look at how we would submit this proposal. First things first. Hello, Romano. Okay, I'm guessing from the biopsychology that they did, that neuromarketing, hello is the most appropriate way to address the client. But to be quite honest with you, in all the time that you have watched videos, do we ever greet with a hello on Upwork? Or even Amanda?
Hello, can you hear me?
No.
Bailey?
Yes. Do we
Oh,
ever
okay.
greet with a hello or a dear Romano? Like, is that something we've ever done?
No.
Yeah. So then what's the alternative?
Hey, Romano.
Romano, exactly. So we're going to copy this. Hey, Romano, I understand that your current requirements for a technical case study copywriter for your software is critical and you have specific criteria. I may not have the rising talent status or job success score of 90 on Upwork. I'm confident that my expertise, can I tell you a secret? This is dreadful. I would never encourage you to send this. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab it anyway, and we're going to talk to Claude. We're going to grab all of this. All of this.
Mhm.
You can literally go copy the whole thing. So let's go straight to the bottom of this output. And you're going to go to claude.ai. And I'm going to put in the chat what it is that you're supposed to tell Claude, just to make things move a little faster. So you're going to say to Claude, hey, Claude, here's a cover letter that I've written for a project. I think it's a little weak. And Bo's like, Claude is the G. I think it's a little weak and too self-centered. Let's make it client-focused based on how they will benefit, agitate them according to neuromarketing and sales psychology. Okay, so that is once Claude is fully loaded, and then you're going to paste Neuro's cover letter. All right, Amanda, do you see the prompt in the chat? The prompt for Claude?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
I
So
do.
please paste the prompt for, paste first the cover letter. Don't copy the prompt, paste the cover letter first. And then you can, wow. Now we got to go back to Neuro and copy. All right, that's totally fine. We'll copy and paste it again. And then
Does it look okay?
you can click on that part.
Okay.
Now, the key, okay, I'm going to tell everybody, the entire internet, the key to successful prompt engineering using a large language model is conversation. Just have a conversation with the LLM that you're using. If it's ChatGPT, have a conversation with it. If it's Claude, have a conversation with it, competition, because that is the best way for you to get a really, really good output. If you try to make it technical or make yourself sound like a computer programmer, you're going to hate the result. So we're going to get rid of the Dear Romano. It's as if I knew. Hey, Romano, is your software developer agency struggling to convert leads into clients? Are you frustrated by case studies? Okay, so this part here, I don't like it. You know why? This entire part, imagine,
No.
is hell. After about, we're close to 2 years now using all these various large language models. We understand that when we get asked rhetorical questions, or when we're told to, at the very beginning of a sentence, imagine, we are talking to a bot. So to prevent that from happening, from your stuff ending up in the trash, we don't start with a rhetorical question, and we don't say stuff like, your search for a technical case study copywriter ends here. Because again, we're still making it self-centered instead of client-focused. So all of this can go. Let's scroll down and see what we can use from Claude. Great. All right. Your existing case studies for price picks are likely leaving money on the table without compelling narratives that highlight your expertise. You're missing out on viable opportunities too. I like it. Why do I like this? Because it's value. Remember the part of attention to detail, right?
Mhm.
And then with the value, and then seek permission to ask your questions before you give them a strong CTA. We have covered the V because we're saying to them, your existing case studies for this and this and this are likely, because it's like we've given them an audit already. And so because we've given them an audit, which is a piece of value, it demonstrates our expertise without us having to really talk about our skills and our expertise. The secret to demonstrating your expertise is to talk about the client more than you talk about yourself.
Mhm.
It sounds really counterintuitive and it sounds a little weird, but the minute you stop talking about yourself is the minute you start to sound like an expert. Your existing case studies are likely leaving money on the table without compelling narratives. The solution, transformative case studies that drive results. As an experienced technical copywriter, I can craft case studies that turn complex. We won't even include this part, but I would, for now, just so that they say, well, why should I listen to you? As Kasuma would say, how or why, or can you prove it? So as an experienced technical, it's not too much friction. It's not because you're not talking about yourself, you're talking about the client. Highlight the tangible benefits clients receive from working with you. So it's not friction because it's not really talking about yourself. The only part where you talk about yourself is where you say, I can craft case studies that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does. Makes a lot of sense.
Romano, and then we dive straight into that. So it's hey Romano, and then straight into this part here. Your existing case studies for, I would read that because remember, when the client receives your proposal, and you're going to see this when you're inside the paid squad, because you're going to get to see things from the client's side. When the client receives your proposal, the only thing that really matters is the first two lines. So your existing case studies is line 1, leaving money on the table is line 2. I'm going to be like, what are you talking about? Are you serious? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So let's copy this part here. I'm going to remove all these annotations, these distractions. Let's copy your existing case studies. And even this is quite agitating to demonstrate the value I can bring. Because of course, there is that elephant in the room of you don't have what they want. So even that, to demonstrate the value I can bring is very good. But hurry, this offer is only available. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't include this. It's kind of too salesy. So let's copy everything. Copy everything. We're going to paste it here, and then we're going to finesse it. But anytime you get an output from Neuro that makes you go, no, you can pull in Israel and just say, this is dry. Literally, Israel will say to Claude, this is dry, paste. So let's copy the whole thing all the way till the bottom.
The whole thing.
Okay, and then we'll edit it when we get to the bottom. Let's check what's going on YouTube. What says, tell the potential squad members that there's an introduction to software and prompts to help them kickstart or thrive in their freelance career. No, the proposal must be about what you will do for the client. Yep, that's true, Mbali. What the heck is the introduction to software and prompts to help them kickstart or thrive in their freelance career? What's the introduction? Tell us, Mbali, tell us. This is what sucks about YouTube is that there's like a slight delay, right? So, okay, so alert, members of the squad. When we see additional questions, what does that tell us?
It tells us that we need to start greeting from the first question.
Okay, Sala, did you see that? Did you see that, Amanda? So instead of saying, hey, Romano, up here, you're actually going to say, hey, Romano, over here. Or if you're Alice, you say, hey, Romano, in more than one place, just to make sure. Okay, so hey, Romano. And then please apply with 10 examples with links or PDFs of technical case studies or IT software development projects, not products or other content that you've already done in the past. Here I would get ChatGPT to make me an ASCII code of a middle finger. I'm just kidding. That is, if it's something that you want it done, you could ask Neuro. You could ask Neuro to do this for you, by the way. Neuro will do it. Unlike us, who will be like, no, actually, I don't want to. Neuro will happily do it. So you're going to copy this and paste it in Neuro, and then Neuro will do it. But let's quickly go back to this cover letter. We just wanted to make sure that we note, please don't copy. We just wanted to note that the Hey Romana goes up there. All right. So your existing case studies for and Mountain Green Unlikely without compelling narratives. Okay, now the solution as an experienced turn complex. Okay, we're going to get rid of this urgent limited offer for immediate impact. We're going to get rid of that part. That entire thing, we can select it and backspace. Excellent. And then, let's see, to demonstrate the value I can bring. Okay, this includes, I'm offering a free no obligation audit of your existing. So this includes, and then you can put a dash here and a dash here and a dash here. Remember, we're not sending this proposal. I just want to show you, if you were gonna, this is how I would do it. Then we'd get rid of the, but hurry. We'll get rid of that. Instead, I like the CTA of reply to this message to schedule a 15-minute discovery call. So much easier. Doesn't that look better? Come on, Claude. Let the people know.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Let me check that. All right, so next steps, let's discuss your reply to this. So we're going to get rid of this. The part that says next steps, because that's a bot tell. Anything that looks like a heading is a bot tell. So we're going to get rid of that. Next steps, reply to this message and share your top priorities for these case studies. Okay, so you're going to say, if you don't mind me asking, because that's going to be, if you don't mind, semicolon, reply to this message. That's number one. Share your top, and then let's create a tailored strategy is 3, and then we can get rid of this.
Okay, if you don't mind, reply to this message, and then we, okay.
And then we'll get rid of that. Yep. And then I love that Claude said PS, remember, because usually you can put your name here as Amanda. If you don't mind, number 1, number 2, if you want to number these, number 3, and then Amanda there. Or you can also say, if that sounds good, reply to. Do you see how we finesse it and make it different, guys, each and every time? It's not about it sounding the same all the time. If that sounds good, if you don't mind, what do you think about? That doesn't sound right. If that sounds good, reply to this message to schedule a 15-minute discovery call, share your top priorities for these case studies, etc., etc. So let's type in if that sounds good right here. That sounds good. And then semicolon. There we go. Great. Now you're going to copy all of this, including the Hey Romano, not from this part here. You're going to type Hey Romano, but you're going to Control A everything that's in this box right here. And then Control C. And then you're going to go back to Neuro and you're going to say, here's what I wrote instead. Because remember, anytime you make a change, anytime you do something, you want to go back to Neuro GPT. Neuro, right here, is it here? I can't see anymore. I think it's here. Am I right? Is this the conversation with Neuro? Which one is the conversation with Neuro? Can you guys see? It looks really blurry for me.
Can you see now?
Okay, yeah, I can see. There we go. Now you're going to say to Neuro right here, here's what I wrote instead. Here's what I wrote instead. And then you're going to say Shift Enter, and you're going to paste what we got from Upwork. Shift Enter, and then paste. Excellent. And then send that to Neuro so Neuro knows. Okay, so Neuro's done that, understands. Okay, Neuro understands what you've written. Cool. Now we go back and you can go ahead and you're going to copy the question and you're going to paste it there. Where are you going to send the proposal? That's what you would do. So you're going to paste the very first question. Please apply with 10 examples. So Neuro is actually going to do that, believe it or not. I wouldn't do it. Honestly, if I saw that part, I would create literally find a humorous way to tell the client, you can get banned. There's no way I'm doing all of that. But you can paste that here, and then let's see what Neuro has to say.
What?
Hey,
Wait.
okay, so now you can go back to the question and you're going to paste the very next question. Now, moving on, guys, whenever you receive that kind of an answer from Neuro, do you see how at the end Neuro will give like a paragraph that summarizes everything else and then signs off with your name? Ignore that paragraph. It's really not necessary. In fact, this entire part here is friction. We do not include it because that's a bot tell. BOTTELL. How we can tell that you used the GPT. It's a bot tell. All right, let's send this. And you can if you want to greet every time. Sorry, Alice, it's just the cutest thing. I don't do it, but I reviewed your case studies and I've identified Neuro will do all of that for you. And then let's go back to submit the proposal and see if there are any more questions. Oh, okay, so because you've done all of that, this is where it gets really interesting. Because you've included the PDFs and all of that social proof, should you include highlights? Only if you want to. And the highlights that I would include in this instance would be things like certificates. Nothing in your portfolio. If you have previous projects, that would be good too. I would do certificates, previous projects. I would not do portfolio because you included 10 examples with links or PDFs. Anything more than that, and it's Romano, just go away. Oh, it also explains why, those other people didn't respond. Because are you insane? It's a waste of my time. I'm not going to reply to your invitation when it's an interrogation and not an invitation. You want me to do what now?
It's giving Chinese companies.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, thank you so much, Amanda, and welcome to the squad. Kind of feels weird to say that. Welcome to the paid squad. Please make sure you're here tomorrow, 8 p.m. every single day, Monday to Friday is when we do come together as a squad. Tomorrow, we're gonna do the thing where we make the thousands appear. So think to yourself tonight, how much do you want to see appear in your overview, your report, that you've made a certain amount per week? Think about that number. So we can make it appear tomorrow. And if you're not in the squad, Zola says, welcome, Amanda. I know I stole your thing, Zola. But yeah, come tomorrow so that we can continue this. Welcome to the squad. Super excited to have you. It's a lot. It's a lot. So just definitely make sure to DM me so that your special link with your grant can work, so that you have your free month. And when I say free month, today's the 5th of August. That means that you'll officially get to decide whether you stay or go on the 5th of September. So enjoy your free month. Amanda says, thank you, Zola. Thank you. It's Zola to you. It's Zola to me and you, because we're in the squad. If you weren't in the squad, it wouldn't be Zola. Anybody else have any questions? We'll be back again tomorrow, same time. It's 9:47. Thank you all very much for your patience. I know it's a lot. If you're watching on YouTube, why? I'm kidding. Thank you for sticking with us for 2 hours and 17 minutes. That is commitment. Israel's like, LinkedIn. I know. LinkedIn is coming in hot. Like, LinkedIn is the next frontier. And then once you guys conquer LinkedIn, I want you guys to go home, and if you're home, I'm sorry, but I want you guys to Google Inch. Inch is the next, after LinkedIn, Inch is the next place that we are going to conquer as members of the squad. Inch makes LinkedIn look like daycare. I didn't want to tell you this, Alice, because I know you have something going on with LinkedIn right now, but Inch is like, and it's coming up after we figure out LinkedIn. But Inch is going to be part of Get Paid Now. Do you guys remember that program? That is officially going to be the program that takes you from freelancer to CEO. So in all of these programs that we have, it's just to make you an even better and better and better and better freelancer, until eventually, when you have the cash flow and you're making the decision to say, do I want to be a freelancer? Do I want to run an agency, or do I want to be a consultant? That is the point at which you can decide whether you want to join Get Paid Now. So exciting. Thank you guys again for coming through. Do we have any questions? Any questions whatsoever? Wezzy, MUZ, is it Muse or Muse? Love seeing new faces. Do you have any questions, Wezzy and Muse? And can you tell us where you got your mic from? Yes, Alice. Thank you. Somebody.
Okay, I'm sending a proposal, and when we put after we ask Miro and we do the whole Miro, the type of buyer in regards to neuromarketing, let me try share my screen. There's something I want your help with. So just give me 1 second. I have to move to this other screen. Just give me a second. I have to move the screen.
Okay, quick question before I let you share your screen though. You do realize we're simulcasting right now to YouTube as well. Would you like me to end the stream right now so you can share your screen, or are you like, I'm just going to share my screen?
No, it's okay. I can share my screen, but it's just something I want to ask.
There you go.
Just give me a second, please.
No problem.
I have to leave this one.
Somebody turned on captions so that they can understand my funny voice. I think it's so cute because now there's captions on YouTube. Okay. Alice has left the building. She'll be back though. Paul has left the building. She's going to sleep. She will not be back. Mo's very strict about her night time. Wezzy and Muse, anything that you guys are curious about? Are you still a bit like, what just happened? I've got whiplash. Hi, it's nice to see you.
Bailey, can I quickly ask something? Because she's still sorting out her screen.
Lissetti says, "Are we dismissed?" Oh, you can come and go as you please. This is the squad. So sweet. Yes. Good night, Lissetti. Good night. Anybody that wants to dip,
Bye,
please feel.
guys.
Bye. Bye, Lissetti. Zola?
Yes, can I quickly ask something? Also doing a proposal now, and I realize when I'm paying attention to detail, the client has like a team, I think. So when you go down, there's like 3 names. So I just want your advice quickly. Do I write hi team or do I name all 3? It's a bit confusing me because I've never come across where there's like 3 names, actual names.
Okay. Here's what I do. I would say, hey, name, 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 and then I would say, and team. So I would say, hey, name, and team, just to let them know. Not only do I peep game, but I peep this game. Like I know that there is more than one person. So it'd be like, hey, name, and team. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Because I was thinking of doing that, but I was like, since you're still on the line, let me just quickly ask you. Because you know how I roll, I'm applying this side.
No, I love how you roll. Listen, if nobody asks the questions, Zola will. I like it. So hey,
Thank you.
name. And then it
Thank
looks
you.
like, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, Alice, what's the question?
So, sorry. This is the client,
Amanda's
CEO
like,
Silicon Valley. So I
oh,
did the whole thing. According to the study, this quick tip, this part here, an efficient executive can help reduce blah, 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 all this. I'm really thinking this looks like a bottle if I put this.
let me see. Let's have a look at it inside the context of what you're looking at. Okay, perfect. According to a study by the Harvard Business Review, executives spend an average of 23 hours per week in meetings. I would say by automating scheduling and handling administrative details, you can reclaim valuable hours each week. I would get rid of everything.
Thank you. I just needed that.
Part. Yeah. The 20 to 30%. The reason why Neuro did that, even though it is a humanistic buyer, it's based on where the humanistic buyer is located. They're in San Francisco.
Yes.
And they're in tech.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And so when you look at the psychology, you don't have to share your screen anymore. This is for everybody. When you look at the psychology of certain buyers based on their location, you see that's why all this attention to detail matters. Neuro is going to give an answer that sounds appropriate for where they come from. Now, again, maybe the person runs an agency for virtual assistants, and so they're not the ones that are going to be on the receiving end. So then you dial it back with the stats. So we would get rid of the 20 to 30 and then keep the other part of having a VA would allow you to reclaim that time. So very good that you noticed that piece of friction that bot tell Alice. We're growing, we're going and we're growing. Any other questions, guys? Or else I will let us go. We're now 2.5, close to 2.5 hours into this. Very grateful for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you guys tomorrow, same time, as we watch Amanda make however many thousand that she wants to make per week. Wezi and Muse, I really hope I hear your voices or see you chatting something. Nice seeing you. Bye, Zola. See you again tomorrow. Hopefully ask as many questions as you want to as well tomorrow. If you want to join,
Bye.
you're welcome. I'm so bad
Bye.
at this. I'm so bad at this. If you want to join the squad, the link is somewhere. You can just send me a DM. I'm not gonna try to sell you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.